Oh, crazy, crazy, crazy. Oh, crazy, crazy, crazy. Oh, crazy, crazy, crazy. Superman, that train. Welcome to the Crazy Train. I'm your host, Rob Wade.
What the hell was that?
What? You never heard? Do you not listen to much hip hop?
Apparently not.
Apparently not.
Apparently we're now the whitest people in this room.
I'm alright with that.
All the world.
To be fair,
Well,
I've always been in contention.
I mean, definitely.
They don't know who we are. Introduce us, Rob.
I will do when you let me fucking talk. I'm your host, Rob Wade. With me is Omer and Brad.
If you pay South Eastern Trains £140 to take a train to Chester and then accidentally book your band a gig on the same day, they'll charge you another 40 quid to move it 3 days in the future. Wankers.
Crazy. Brad Harmer.
Insane in the membrane! Insane on a train!
Blake Harmer. Sorry, Blake Harmer.
Crazy still, we listen to hip hop, right? For God's sake. Introduce me, fucker!
Blake Harmer.
Crazy train is on the move, a crazy train is loose. Hear the banter, feel the hook. Crazy train is crazy train. That's the official one from now.
I like that. Yeah. And special guest, Marc Cummins.
A freight train rolling down the line makes me crazy.
How have we not thought of that one?
Yeah, I can only think of one more song that's more appropriate for the Crazy Train podcast, which is obviously The Unforgiven by Metallica.
Yeah.
So I'll explain a bit about why there's an extra member of the cast today. Marc is moving away.
I'm fucking off, really.
You are fucking off. Apparently to avoid me, although quite why is it beyond me if you're a male.
He's moving away to get a sex operation. He's preemptively moving away from you before he comes.
If this is you living with it for a year, that beard needs to go.
I'm going to say I'm going to get that penis I finally wanted.
Rob's got some to spare if you want.
To be fair, that haven't.
Buy offcuts.
You do. You just go to a Jewish circumcision.
By the end bit.
Bible forces roll them together like a plasticine fucking snake.
I love my dick has the bacon still attached. The internet must love my cock.
Well, apparently it does.
Apparently.
Yeah, because no figures.
Yeah. just like the internet, nothing's really important.
Yeah, fair point. Oh, it was on the front page of Reddit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, along with that
penis,
along with that picture of a kitten.
Ah,
Yeah, just
welcome to the
saying.
internet.
Perspective. So anyway, Marc is moving away in a couple of weeks, and this is my leaving gift to him.
Can we get that his new address?
No, we don't know it yet.
I don't know.
I'm moving the
Mine's
box.
of Mario.
Oh, Omer's jealous.
Yeah.
He's going to live with my cousins.
If you find my bearded wife, let her know. Fuck off.
I have a fear of bearded things. We'll get to that. So, do you want to kind of give a little brief thing of what you're doing, why you're leaving, why you're abandoning me? Whenever you're ready.
Because I don't like it.
You've got enough, friend.
You've hit your quota. I'm out. There was a pool.
You're only allowed so many friends per hemisphere.
I think it's exactly that. I've filled my quota for the equator. I've got to go down south.
That's what she says.
It's just be crazy. Apparently, I've slept with half of the world.
I met the
I've
other
got to try the other half. We're swapping.
Plunge unite.
We're swapping.
What's really weird is we've not got any crossovers.
I'm following his trail of beard hair that he's left.
That's not from my beard.
It's
Never too long to be.
That's from his mini beard.
Oh, right. That's from Omar Mini.
Have you ever seen a button mushroom just like with a bit of cloud of dirt around it? That's kind of the imagery you need to summon up.
Yeah. And now I will never have to eat again.
Don't think about the event.
No! Never think about it. No, basically I'm backpacking, just going to see the world, see what's there, and decide if I come back or
You've
not.
got Google for that.
Oh yeah. Google Maps. Google Maps is pretty much it. I'm not actually travelling. I'm actually just going to go in someone's basement and just sit there with an iPad.
You're going to be like that
Google
McDonald's
Maps
advert. I'm going around the world, and it's just going to McDonald's.
That's
with
it.
some Spanish cheese.
Every week, new spend.
Yeah. Can you go to Burger King and get me another Jurassic Park?
No, that's just too far. That's going to be silly.
So you can't be living his dreams.
You're just being.
He's on Nublar.
Oh, I could use my little book. I've got a book from Burger King. It's just got a map of the islands. From
This book is not little.
That's Mein Kampf. Fuck off.
Crazy Nazi with
No, Brad actually. I've got a little Jurassic Park notepad, and Brad just presented me with a copy of Mein Kampf. So a little bit.
It's not for you.
No,
It's Blake's.
what the fuck, explain. Jesus, all this time I've been the one who doesn't like the Jews. You're the one with the copy of Mein Kampf.
I'm out.
Fucking hell.
I just don't make a big deal.
You're a casual
Have you wrestled
Yeah, well, I looked into a calendar. September's looking quite busy, but we might annex for Sudentenland sort of mid-October.
Have you wrestled Jimmy Snooker as well? You just don't tell me about that.
He is Jimmy Snooker.
Haven't you noticed my leopard pants?
To be fair, you got jeans on.
Oh yeah.
No, to be fair, when recording Crazy Train, we're all just in pants.
Yeah, true. It is permanent trousers off time when the Crazy Train's in town. Sorry about that, Mark.
Fuck.
I've got my trousers off, but I'm actually completely naked, but I'm so hairy and I've got such a small penis, nobody can tell I'm not in black Y-fronts.
Yeah.
Apparently Omer is a smurf from the waist down.
I should probably say that seriously, Brad did just buy me that book of the Joker present once.
Oh, okay.
A few years ago. I'm not really a Nazi.
This is to get our Jewish levels up again. We're only kidding.
Jews are fantastic.
You're bringing the Jewish levels back up. Why? They're still low.
I think certain communities.
Brad just put a packet of bacon jerky on top of Mein Kampf.
It just caught fire.
If I put it inside, does anything magical?
Apparently, they made a TV show that was all right.
Oh my god, not the wooden table!
Crazy.
Crazy.
So,
Well,
Omer,
racism quite a film.
That's another hour.
Racist.
I'm loving how we managed to get from backpack into the genocide of millions of people.
Yeah.
I'm only going for a couple of years.
I won't kill that many.
You expect too much.
Are you going to the Australian outback because loads of them get fucking killed there?
yeah. Why would you move to a
That's
place
the
where
Australian
everything can kill you?
The Australian outback is where we put backpackers that we want to get murdered.
Challenge accepted.
Comes back just grizzled. I've seen some things, man. There was a taxi driver and a kangaroo. And
Once we introduce 3 years time, like, another Crazy Train is professional rape victim, Marc!
Scorpions are not gentle.
You know, Marc, you seem to be standing up.
I was raped by a scorpion is the best lifetime special.
Get over here!
Can I have that on the t-shirt?
Yeah.
Including the get over here afterwards.
Get over here and cuddle.
Make sure you massage my scalp afterwards.
Get over here! I'm the big spoon.
So, speaking of...
sheath my Bowie knife.
What?
I don't know.
When did David Bowie make knives?
Have you not heard it?
No.
Under pressure.
Blood's pouring out of me.
Pouring out of you.
It's a knife. Why are you leaving? Why don't we start a band?
Shut up and take my money.
So, speaking of fearing bearded things, we want to talk about... What? We were a minute ago before we got derailed talking about Jews again.
So we just get the tracks.
Edit 2, quick jump cut, no Jews. So let's talk about the birthday barbecue a couple of weeks ago.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah,
That was a week ago today, wasn't it?
yeah. So apparently I fear all lizards now.
Yeah, you are. My girlfriend showed you my lizard and you freaked out.
Yeah, let's tell the...
I have a pet bearded dragon.
You tell the story from your perspective.
Right.
I'll add the context and they can make up their own minds.
I'm stood behind a barbecue, which is another story about you getting gassed in the face.
It's amazing you weren't just passing out.
Oh, that was crazy, right?
Crazy.
It didn't actually happen. So I'm barbecuing food, burning it all as you should.
Yep.
And
You did a very good job of burning
and
it.
I just hear, I
I didn't even need those lines. We'll get to that.
I hear this bah from the other end of the garden, and all I can see is my girlfriend has my pet bearded dragon and has shown it to Rob, and Rob is afraid of it.
Yeah.
He freaked out.
So here's the context. It was half an inch from my face, and she tapped me on the shoulder without saying anything, and I just turned, and I just get, "Sup? I'm a lizard. How's it going? Is you done with that hot dog? I'd quite like to just like gum on it and then give it back to you." Yeah.
That's about all my dragon could do.
Yeah.
Gum your hot dog.
Exactly. I mean, but yeah, that will jar anybody. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Bear fucking Grylls. That will jar you. I also don't care if you're Bear Grylls in general.
Yes.
They don't care about you.
Yeah, exactly.
Me, that's what I was burning.
That was.
It was good at the barbecue.
So far you've been raped by a scorpion and startled by a reptile.
Yeah.
That's 2 more common characters.
Yeah.
It wasn't the stupidest thing to happen at that
Or
bowl.
they
It
might
wasn't,
both have
though,
been
was it?
Shane Sung.
This
We
is
did a
also true.
thing. We did a thing called banana jousting.
Oh, I thought. Oh, sorry. When you said the stupidest thing, I thought you were going to talk about when I inhaled backdraft as well.
Oh yeah. Do you want to do that one first?
Yeah, let's
a
do
lot
that.
of stupid things happened at my barbecue.
Mostly to me.
Yeah, yeah.
For the sake of one afternoon placating your girlfriend, I took a decade off my life. She's welcome.
That's his.
And she got a present.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, maybe I shouldn't have bothered.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Happy
backdraft.
birthday, I've aged terribly.
Have my youth.
Happy birthday, it wasn't trivial.
See, I was grilling a large chunk of lamb in some foil.
Yes, which was really nice.
Really good. It came out very nice. And
That foil was.
it's the type when you know you.
It did. I've got fillings at the back, so I couldn't eat it on one side,
I
but
just put a bit of lamb in there. It's fine.
that works.
Lamb fillings. That sounds like something I'd have. Would you like silver or ceramic? Can I have lamb?
What's I don't know. Why are you looking at the back of your mouth?
There's so much meat in me. Hello,
I know I'm on.
But yeah. So I'm grilling this piece of meat, and it's all wrapped up in foil. And it's the one that you leave, you leave it on there for a few hours while everything else cooks, and it becomes like the main event. And yeah, the foil.
Lamb versus fire on pay-per-view. Only in America.
Yeah, some of the foil had like unravelled a little
Shipping.
bit, so it made like an air pocket that was full of smoke.
Yes.
I went to turn it, and all of the smoke released itself directly into Rob's face, which he was mid-sentence, so it was like, yeah, so.
Wait, you got attacked by a scorpion, a reptile, and smoke.
Yeah.
Cyrax pop up as well.
I did strike at him.
You know what's really weird is I was doing the pack of cards the other day, all jacks.
Sounds so nice.
Yeah. I love that deck.
Yeah, then we went. Then after you had learned to breathe again.
Yeah, well, while I was over in the oxygen tank. While I spent the
Accidentally
afternoon
fell on my
night in London.
katana.
Yeah, then we fought each other with bananas. So my girlfriend came up with this idea for the party. We wanted to come up with a silly game or two. And in the end, it turns out one of the things that never actually happens because
Choke Rob was fun while it lasted, but we figured there was another game in the afternoon.
Freak Rob out with a reptile was equally amazing. Yeah,
Goro turn.
she came up with this idea that she found
Oh,
online.
perfect, you can hold the plate. Oh, god damn it. Every time I get invited to a barbecue, they make me hold something.
She came up with
I'm going to straight
Deleted
up...
lines from a Mortal Kombat movie.
I'm going to straight up choke two bitches.
She came up with a game that she found online called banana jousting, which I envision just people running from the other end of the garden holding a banana.
See, when
in
you
front of
said it to me, that like before the party, you were like, oh, we're going to be banana jousting. That's what I pictured.
My
Yeah.
mental image was knights in full plate mail holding lances sat on bananas wondering why they weren't moving.
them. Do you know how much a suit of armour
we
weighs?
could, one of us could go downhill, yeah, but the other one's going uphill, isn't it? Oh, we'll need some kind of pull.
No, you fight at the bottom of the valley. Jesus Christ, you've never been go-kart death riding, have you?
You've never
No,
been...
because that's not a thing.
What kind of fucking idiot doesn't go plate mail banana jousting?
But no,
Everyone but you.
what it actually was
I like the fact that you obviously haven't done something with the word death.
yeah, because
What's wrong with you?
Yeah. You've never died, pussy.
It ended up being.
It's not a week unless I've died.
God, these interruptions are really
I
annoying.
know, it's really annoying, isn't it?
How does it feel?
I'm sorry, okay?
Yeah, you're fucking 13 episodes too late. Moving on. Carry on.
Ended up being banana fencing, which was, fairly humorous. Got hilarious when the banana started splattering people in the face.
I thought, to be fair, that was the whole point.
Well, hitting people in the face.
Yeah, I
thought
didn't
that-
imagine it was going to be an epic 5-hour draw where you just like lead line the banana. Virgins. We'll get to that.
Yeah, so essentially, the idea is it's a bit like Conkers, but with bananas. You hit each other banana until it falls apart.
You spend the whole of October waiting for them to drop off the trees.
That's not how banana... Never mind.
Yeah, that's sort of my point. Thank you, Ted.
But then...
Well done,
Then...
Carry on.
Oh, he's on...
Okay.
Oh, he's on strike.
No, I thought there was a point to be made.
people interrupting Omer. Oh.
You were mid-sentence and you stopped yourself. I thought you were going to carry on.
I've learned from a master.
What?
Carry on!
I don't know what's going on anymore.
Fuck's sake, Blake!
Anyway, so banana gel. Yeah,
But yeah, so the idea is you hit each other banana until they fall apart. But I can't remember who it was, but somebody got through like 4 different competitors. So
Yeah, I can't remember who that was.
Maybe, yeah. I know it was Wendy because the other banana...
Yes.
I think it was...
Charlotte?
I think it was Charlotte was... No, I think it was Charlie was fighting her. Banana disintegrated. Yeah, and
It's
just
hard to keep track.
just got a lovely...
People listeners might not know.
Well, no, we don't generally mention those.
No,
I usually
No,
just talk.
until now.
Yeah.
yeah, and just got a big old blob of banana on the forehead. But only two of us could see it from in front of her. So all it looked like was there was just, they were swinging bananas around having a laugh. And next minute, I didn't even see it hit. I just saw this piece of banana on her head. We cracked up. It was me and a guy called Liam cracked up and started crying from laughter. She turns around and like this slow reveal as the rest of the garden just falls apart in a Mexican wave of banana face laughing. That was a great party. I really enjoyed it.
What kind of banana? What kind of banana was this that made a garden fall apart? Are you playing worms again?
Oh, worms laugh would be a mate, wouldn't it? It used to be 4 worms, wouldn't it?
I just got this image of Rob just standing with like half a mile going, never again.
I've seen some shit, man.
No, when Rob gets his banana out, everybody else loses.
Yeah, well, I wasn't allowed to compete because apparently mine would dominate.
Yeah, you're not allowed to bring your own banana, Rob.
To establish dominance.
Captain Tripod.
Oh
Yeah.
dear.
Apparently
I will point out that Captain Alpha over here, Mr. Brad, got beaten by his own girlfriend. Even at something as useless as banana.
Also with a banana.
I let her win because chivalry.
Because reasons.
You should try it sometime, Mister from the past.
Mr. from the past. Hello, I'm Mr. from the past. Things were different when I was born.
I'm Captain Causality.
Motherfucker, you old.
So when,
Dr. Matter of Fact.
so when the garden fell apart, do you just go, I'll get you?
Anyway, so if
The
you
concrete donkey got me.
if you wouldn't mind picking up if you wouldn't mind picking up some of the names that you dropped, Brad, you guys went to a Viking festival.
Yeah.
Would we say festival?
Talk it out. Maybe flesh out on that concept. So we went to a Viking festival. Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
Anyway,
It was...
Do Vikings have festivals? I
evidently.
thought it was basically just a giant orgy.
Would you like me to explain it because I knew what actually happened?
You can do the actual setup for it, so I was kind of peripherally involved until we actually got there.
Right.
Yeah.
We have a
There you
thing where I'm from, in the Isle of Sheppey, called Promenade Festival.
Innsmouth.
And, God, if 3 of the 4 people get that reference. The
Fans or Sheppey residents? Or both? Are we number 1 podcast on the Isle of Sheppey?
Alright.
No,
His girlfriend's probably beaten us.
That's not a podcast.
it's a radio.
That's a stream, isn't it?
Yeah.
Alright, yeah. Top class or something pathetic.
Finally.
Yeah, me and Ryan Webb are the 2 downloaders.
Why do you need a dozen copies?
Backups.
Because internet. I have 11 iPads.
There's a thing called the Promenade Festival, which is an arts festival. It's the idea that people, local artists, be they painters, sculptors,
Front
photographers,
page of Reddit.
yeah, anything, will, I suppose, it's supposed to exhibit their art. And they theme it every year. It started off as a Promenade Festival because it started off as like a celebrating kind of the seafront history of the island. Every year they've changed it, and this year I got involved because it was a Viking festival.
Viking
and having
themed. Yeah,
Viking themed, yes. It was very loosely themed, and because it's quite hard to get all, not a lot of the
People
artists.
from the past.
No, the idea is if you were to say in any community, if you were to say everybody bring your Viking art, you see what I mean? This is exactly what I'm on about. Nobody's going to have anything.
DeviantArt/tag/
That's
Viking.
true, yeah. You're going to have 2 or 3 things.
Cut the
So,
floor comics.
yeah. So they kind of loosely themed it, but it centred around. There were things like they got a local artist who is a professional storyteller. I think she more works in schools than that, but she does do adult ones as well. Yeah, it all began because there's a theory that Beowulf was written about the Isle of Sheppey. There's also a theory that it's written about wherever. It tends to be. You give me a quizzical look. The idea is that some of the places described.
About us, that is!
Some of the places described within the Beowulf
The
tale
documentary Reservoir Dogs was just down the road from here.
geographically match the Isle of Sheppey.
The documentary Reservoir Dogs.
So it was celebrating that. It's bullshit. To me, the story was written about wherever you were.
Okay.
Because when you sing, it actually happened that when we were sitting around a campfire and songs were being sung, no matter where the song normally mentions, no matter where the song normally mentions, you tweak it to be, I was leaving this town I'm in, and I went to. You do it so that local people enjoy it more, and that's the way stories are. Anyway, so they kind of celebrated that, and it's just a loose excuse, but it's centred around them having I was going to say a small Viking ship, but it actually wasn't small. It was about
8 foot long.
Yeah, 8 foot long and probably
3 foot wide?
Yeah, and I'd say at least 12 foot tall with the mast and everything.
When the mast
went up and the sail went up.
Okay.
And they asked me because I have sort of Viking. I say fancy dress instead of like reenactment stuff because it's
cosplay.
not. Yeah.
A Viking.
No, I say that because my
Viking
stuff isn't of the quality of people who do this properly.
A Viking
like,
outfit.
Yes, an outfit. Yeah, it was more akin to a good fancy dress outfit.
Okay.
They asked me to do it because as well I do archery and they wanted to burn the ship out on the lake. So they said, would I shoot flaming arrows at it?
Mm-hmm.
Which I said, yes, absolutely, that wouldn't be a problem.
Now here's the question: did they give you context of like, yeah, we're gonna launch the ship in aid of the Promenade Festival, stuff like this, or did they do what they did to you when they organised the wrestling show and just go, do you want to shoot some flaming arrows? Oh yeah, here's this thing you're actually doing.
Oh, by the way, here's my panda bear. I don't know where the fuck we came from, wasn't it? There we go. So I spent a very long time setting up all my gear, getting costumes ready and making it so that, because the way I was thinking about it is it was going to be a massive shitter. Yeah. Nobody was going to be doing anything.
At this point, I got involved because we also do a YouTube history series called Claymore Division under the E14 banner, which was we were covering it for that was the idea. I mean, it being too ridiculous, and we thought stick it on the train.
Fine.
Yeah,
I like that idea.
So the
crazy story, stick it on the train.
Yeah, there might be people we could interview. There might actually be some historical people we could talk to. And also I was there as his second and loader, lighting and passing.
Flaming arrows you don't want to be doing on your own.
No, exactly. So I was helping him out on that front.
And also, if Tony Robinson was there, you could prove the Battle of Hastings didn't happen then.
Yeah.
Because seriously, you're Baldrick.
So we're there, and Brad comes to my shop earlier in the day, and we start setting up to be ready. And everything I've got is ready. I've built a shield in a genuine style. Got wood and glued them together, covered it in. Yeah, I constructed it in the way that it would have been done. So
the second
everything
draft worked anyway.
The second draft worked. The first shield I made, I measured wrong and couldn't lift it.
I felt
you felt that thing. You
that,
cannot.
yes.
You can lift it and you can defend yourself behind it, but holding it up for more than a minute would start to hurt.
Yes, it's very, very.
So it was only because
we're in isometrics.
Yeah, it was because I didn't want to build it using like an online instructional or something like that. I wanted to read accounts of how the shields looked and were made, and then try to do that myself. When I measured that the shield was 22mm thick, bought the wood, cut it, built it, realised actually it was 6mm thick. So I made it.
How did you get 6 and 22?
I've literally no idea. I think I was just reading the wrong
inches
bit. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Still wasn't
closer than fucking.
Yeah, you're right there. So I've spent a good 2 months getting set up for this thing, thinking, and actually probably put in more effort than anybody
else,
apart from the person who built the ship. Because the idea of the ship was that it was a raft disguised as a ship. When we first heard that, we thought, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But in the end, it was really clever.
It
looked like a ship, and it floated. Yeah. But they'd actually used the bits...
Boxes ticked.
Yeah. But it was made out of books. So anyway, we made these arrows, and we set fire to one in the garden, launched it into a box, and it set fire beautifully.
I'll explain arrows as a layman, because
go on then.
Rather than using like a single pointed arrow, like you think of a stereotypical Robin Hood type arrow, they're like a flat end and then like 2 prongs coming at the end, almost like a shaver outlet.
Okay.
Yeah. So 2 spikes wrapped around in twine, which are then saturated with lighter
fluid and lithium grease.
Lithium grease.
Which lighter fluid burns quickly and hot. Lithium grease keeps burning.
What's lithium grease?
It's actually something I use for greasing bear. Yeah, I do actually. I've used it that way before. That's another story. It's for greasing up bearings.
Legally tell it.
Yeah, only lubricates Nirvana songs.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, what's lithium? It's an antidepressant.
Target eliminated.
Yeah, so it greases the bearings. It's like a thick white grease.
Okay.
And it burns nice and slow, and it's controlled. But the light fluid obviously is quite voracious.
Yes.
So we set fire to an arrow in the garden. Lodged it into
I don't think that's the word you want.
Voracious.
Voracious is like something you just use to describe sexual appetite.
I think the word you're looking for is horny.
Yep. So I had these horny fire arrows.
Yeah, that mega bang times.
Which sounds like something out of Skyrim. You've crafted horny fire arrows. Just make iron daggers, you get more smithing points.
So your girlfriend decides to try and add a bit of ambience. We dressed up as well.
They dressed up as well. But the point is, we shot these arrows in the garden.
Yeah.
And I put the arrow at the bow.
right in the garden.
I put these arrows at full
No wonder it
draw.
fucking fell apart.
I used to be an adventurer like you until I got an arrow to the garden.
Backyard archery.
That sounds gay.
When I let go of these arrows at full speed, they go at about 90 miles an hour. And the flame stuck perfectly, wedged into a cardboard box, which was a bit damp. actually set fire to the cardboard, so it was a scrabble to put it out, and then the arrow wouldn't go out, no matter how hard I was like waving it.
At this point, all the kids from next door appearing over the garden wall.
What's that guy with a beard flaming arrows at a wall?
Who's that flaming guy with the beard?
Oh, I'm so warm at the end of these sticks.
They called him the dangerous wizard.
Yeah, because
He fired the arrow and passed out.
yeah, exactly. Because he went over to check on it, passed out. Brad's standing there like, oh shit, do I tend to the arrow or tend to the passed out bearded guy? I better put that out first. Yeah.
The idea being that the arrow basically wouldn't go out until I smothered it in a wet cloth. So perfect. Because I'm going to be launching this. Yeah. So we built 6 of these arrows and took them down to the lake, and we set up. And what we thought was going to be a complete shitfest turned out to be okay.
Well, there was at least an audience of 10.
Yeah. No, we did it.
That's crazy transstandard.
Almost in double figures, the audience of 10.
Yeah.
We weren't actually in fucking costume.
Yeah, well, no, they advertised it for people just to come along, sit by the campfire. There was going to be storytelling and songs and things like that. And we did a song by the fire and stuff
We did
like
a tourist song.
We did a heavy metal song with a load of kids.
So he's in this full chainmail with cloak. I'm in like leather armour with a beard that's over her shoulder. Your girlfriend's dressed as kind of a Presbyterian minister.
She was in traditional Viking.
You were the only one who didn't put a Viking voice on. It was just me and your girlfriend had to carry.
No. I'm the only one.
Has an amazing Somerset accent, which is where Vikings are from.
I've been waiting for this argument.
Brad,
let's go.
Please demonstrate to us the Viking voice you were doing. Now, bearing in mind the Vikings are from Scandinavia, would you please? This is the voice he did for what? 6 fucking hours. This voice.
Your girlfriend had a Somerset accent.
This is a Viking voice, apparently.
Yes, no.
That's Borat as a Viking.
Ykshemesh, I read you and rape your women.
My lord, it was the most important quest.
This voice,
I'm here to pillage.
Here's the best bit. At some points, we're having a quite serious conversation because, like, setting fire to the ship, it was covered in petrol, and so we have to be quite serious about how this is going to be safe. Because he's giving safety advice in this fucking accent.
I think we should call it airstrike.
No, we're all like really worried about people getting hurt and the fireworks going off into the crowd. He's calling in fucking airstrikes. It was funny the first time, but you were so fucking insistent.
Well, if we'd have gone with the airstrike,
that's it, right. So we get this ship set up, and it has got it has 8 litres of petrol all over it. It's also got lanolin and wool on the deck.
You know they don't need fuel like that, right?
Holy shit, that's why it didn't work.
Pull the choke! Did you set fire to a fucking speedboat?
you flooded
That's not Viking, that's just arson.
It's also covered in fireworks. Right.
Also, I have to take exception. I do not recall anyone mentioning any kind of health or safety problems.
This was the problem. There was no health and safety.
So I think the accent actually fit in perfectly.
Fuck's sake. So they tow this thing out.
I remember watching Outlander and thinking, needs more Chekhov.
They tow this thing out into the lake.
Not talkies.
And it is about...
Nothing nuclear vessel.
Pretty metal he's being eaten by wolves.
It's about 10 yards away from me. A lot further from the audience. Okay. So, like, I know I have me... there's me and you and
I have to take exception and say I was one of the least ridiculous people there.
Yeah, you were. But so
that's really, to be fair, I wasn't there, but from that description, I can totally believe that's true.
Yeah, the guy with the axe over his shoulder, talking in a faux kind of Bort meets Death Clock accent. I was one of the saner ones there for sure.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Oh, I won't dispute that.
Fucking drunk, which makes a change.
We were drunk.
So the night the sun drops, they tow this ship out. And the audience, I'd say actually the official count was 78 people watching. That probably includes us as well.
I'll give you that, but I would say there was a margin of error of at least 70.
No, you're not including the Twitch.com live stream.
Yeah.
So we go out onto the jetty.
I do not think audience watching Vine counts, my lord.
We go out.
These are just 6 seconds of me passing your arrow. Not even 5.
And him passing out.
Yeah.
We go out onto the jetty.
I would revive you, my lord.
Oh, fireworks!
It's not the interrupting me that's getting annoyed. It's just that fucking accent again.
You did not complain at the time, my lord. You thought I was.
I did complain numerous times.
What was wrong with accent?
I would have rather used it to board. Hello, I'm a Viking. I'm here to chase stories and throw the arrows at the shoot. That would have been better.
I was trying to play properly, so I knew it'd metal up to you, my lord.
Oh, fuck. So we're out on the jetty.
You are my favourite old gay couple.
Me and Brad, or just me? I'm not sure.
Me
I'm so fat, I'm two gay old men.
He's bears?
That is the thing. I kept accident. I meant to drop it like when we got home.
The next day,
Still doing it.
we hung out the next day at a wargame convention again.
Super friendship
and he was
weekend.
he was still doing.
It was like when you did the Iron Turk characters doing wrestling. You would keep the accent up, and
Until I left.
Once you've started an accent, it's actually quite hard to stop.
Yeah.
So I wasn't even doing it on purpose by this point.
No. So
just following around the wargame convention.
we woke up in the morning and said,
Actually
"Good morning,
people.
would you like some waffles?"
Yeah. Actually talking to people going, I remember system was good, kind of.
Yeah, it's just
F40K. I don't know what they thought was wrong with me.
I didn't think it was
So we're on the jetty.
He had a stroke, so now he's Norwegian.
Hey, no, that's a thing. Yeah.
No, I've seen
what's something
Stranger.
accent syndrome?
I've seen Stranger.
I did see it in the documentary Castle, actually.
So
I've seen the documentary Hunger
we
Games.
are standing on the jetty with these flaming arrows. We've got the lighter fluid, we've got lighters. We put one in the bow, we light it up, we give it a few seconds to burn, and I loose the arrow.
Which hit?
Which hit perfectly. But
Didn't catch.
it went out as soon as it left the bow.
Yeah.
Now, considering I was only half pulling it, so they're not leaving at the 88 miles an hour we tested it at.
So you were just like looking for its number, but if you didn't,
Yeah, no, I wasn't really bothered. Not like
Oh,
you.
the other kind of pulling.
Yeah. So yeah, and the arrow just goes out. But I hear it thump, straight into the side of the ship. People laugh, they think I missed. Fair enough. I've got 6 shots at this.
So they didn't hear the thunk.
They didn't hear the thump. We're 10
Yeah,
yards
yeah,
from this
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
They're, what,
Too much thump.
20, 30 yards minimum from it. So, all 6 arrows, not one of them lights up the ship.
Yeah.
All 6 of them hit.
I'd say we need to break there. We take the piss out of each other a lot and mock each other a lot. To Omer's credit, all 6 arrows hit that ship. Which
And
is,
they hit.
But it just wouldn't catch.
yeah, but he's just
The arrows just went out.
fucking incredible archer. Actually, 6 of 6 hit shots.
Yeah, yeah,
to
it's
hit.
good.
It was one of the best shoots I've ever done.
I mean,
It was
it's
one of my
On
best
the
hit
other
ratio.
hand,
It's a big target,
was it
it's
as
far
big as a
away.
barn door?
No, it wasn't.
It's a big target, but it's far away as well.
Yeah.
I was
In
also
the
hitting.
dark,
Yeah.
not backlit.
Yeah, as well. What happened as I lit the arrow and lifted it up to my face?
Night vision
passed
blows.
out.
The arrow,
Night vision blows.
the arrow,
Night vision blows.
the
So
arrow
you
is in
hold the
front
flame
of
to
my
your
face.
Yeah, sure.
So I have to aim at the ship and then shoot blind at it. And I'm aiming at the
Maybe that
bow. No, I think I was aiming at the stern of the ship rather than the side.
Yeah.
So I had a thin target. I'm not sure, but I hit it.
No.
I'm very glad of it.
Like
It's the
makes-
most impressive shot, my lord.
Blake makes a really good point. Maybe your other senses were heightened.
Oh, my shooting sense.
My hearing.
Like
I
Viking Daredevil.
can hear the boat floating away gradually.
Yeah.
No, actually, it was floating towards us, which is why we needed to light it up rather rapidly.
Now, surely, if you've got a boat full of petrol floating towards you, the last thing you want to do is
Oh, we have
set it on
fireworks in the
fire.
boat as well. Did we not mention that?
No,
With all the fireworks in the ship, yeah.
Yeah.
So then, at this point now, people are laughing.
Sorry, was that the ultimate goal? So, in all seriousness, was the idea to light it so the fireworks would
So
go
the
off?
fireworks on the ship
Right.
go off.
Okay.
Right, and you know, it's going to be a big spectacular. Because a burning ship looks cool, a burning ship with fireworks is cooler. And they did anchor it, but
That's
it
the
was on quite
motivation of a
long.
lot of terrorist attacks.
Yeah. And you say that, Omer, but you've never owned a yacht.
That's true.
Yacht owners, the sight of the burning ship is very terrifying and makes them spend all that money again.
So I've got this audience, and some of the kids in that, they're actually laughing. I'm like, well, it's a bit shitty because it's just been bad luck.
Hold on a second.
Go for it.
Who do you think you fucking are? You're a member of the Crazy Train and you had an audience?
Yeah, I know, right?
Fuck right off.
I'm
out.
on 78 people minus 7.
I usually hang around with a project for about 5 years until it gets an audience, then I'm like, I'm out! I want to go somewhere else where I'm unappreciated. I know people are liking my shit, fuck this!
Sheppy it is.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in this band any longer, my lord. I don't know what the fuck he's going
What the hell was that
It's
accent?
your accent. Oh, it's ridiculous when somebody else does it.
Of course it's
Oh, fucking hell, Blake.
Blake just old fucking held himself.
I just want to say I'm really happy I came here today.
Yeah. Your input's been invaluable.
It's great because I feel like Omar's now part of the Lonely Island. I shot a boat! I shot a boat!
No, apparently I'm the only lucky
Didn't
guy.
sell a light! But I shot the motherfucking boat.
So we've got these 6 arrows.
So we've got these 6 arrows that
They've
will
all
go out.
failed. What's plan B, my lord?
Well, there wasn't a plan B, and I spot the leftover box of fireworks. So I decide that shooting fireworks at a boat is the next safest thing that can happen. So I grab a Roman candle, you know, one of the ones like 6, like piff, piff, Those ones.
Could you use a Roman candle when you're a Viking? Not a conflict of interest.
This is a situation I found. I am 31 years old in a few short weeks,
Yeah.
and I found myself
Alright,
standing on the
I
edge.
take the hint, you'll get an episode for your birthday too.
I found myself
Only
standing.
gift you give.
I'm nearly 31. I found myself standing on a jetty in a small lake on the island of Sheppey while my mate Helman Roman Candle, as I lit it so that he could fire it at a wooden boat full of fucking fireworks.
And petrol.
I'm just saying.
At that point, all I could think was, maybe the teachers were right about me.
Maybe I should have worked harder so I make him get a good job.
I'm just saying. I'm 30 next year, and I probably spent that night at the pub.
Yeah.
I feel like you had the better story.
So,
In all fairness, though, drunk Rob is fun.
Having been around drunk Rob, you can attest to it.
Yes, yes, I can.
I'm
We kept
Harry.
getting tequila. It was fantastic.
He was at my birthday,
I'm now
as
Harry.
far as I remember.
I'm now Harry Pottering,
It's all this, are you sure this is a good idea, Rob?
and I'm holding out Harry Potter with his wand and shooting fireworks. What you're supposed I've done this before, and it's not safe, but to make it safer, what you're supposed to do is peel the paper away from the fuse.
Right.
So it's just an open-ended firework.
Okay.
Didn't do that. As the first firework shoots out, it incinerates the paper, but of course blows it back at me.
Yes.
Completely burns my left eye.
Right.
My right eye's full of smoke and burning, can't see shit.
I can
Brad's
relate.
trying to shout mortar instructions
Well, yeah,
at me.
basically, I can just see I didn't know that he just had a shit in his face. I knew it was possible. I didn't realise
Yeah.
to what extent.
Yeah.
So all he's doing, and all I think to do is up a bit, down a bit.
And I'm
what
replying
else could you give other than that?
All I'm getting is up a bit, and I'm going, I don't know where up is!
You can move your arm. My lord.
These 6 shots coming out of the Roman candle don't light the fucking boat.
Really?
So the next step is to grab hold of... You
I
know the
thought
little...
we should have called an airstrike.
So we did. Kind of. The next step is to pick up the fireworks that just... You know, the ones that just fizz into the air.
Yeah.
The ones that you could probably be quite close to, but you don't want to be. Light it.
Unless you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah. Light one...
And lob it like a fucking Mills bomb.
Yeah, I lob it like a hand grenade at the ship. First one misses by about a foot too short, hits the lake and fizzes round like a little water rocket.
You are too short.
Yeah, I'm a bit short.
Like a little
The second one lands
lithium
amongst the
water
oars.
boatman.
The second one lands amongst the oars and is throwing sparks at a petrol-soaked boat. That's got to go up. No. The third one, and I don't know how, lands dead in the centre of
In my eye.
The last one lands dead centre, and we go, come on, come on, come on!
and it just goes out.
No way.
So we go, what else we got left? What else we got left? We pick up another one, look over, and there's just these flames creeping out of the boat.
Oh,
here's
where
the
it's
little thing.
finally fucking cool.
Here's the thing you don't know. The only firework left was one of those ones that shoots 30 shots into the air at once.
Oh, amazing.
And I was really hesitant to light it, but at this point, this thing has got to burn.
Yeah.
And eventually it hit, starts burning, and considering all the petrol that's on it, it just takes, like, you know the speed if you burnt a piece of paper at one corner?
Yeah.
And the flame travels across it? About half of that speed.
Okay.
And eventually, so it all takes up, the fireworks start going off. Interesting thing about fireworks, if you light the firework, not the fuse, it doesn't go off like a firework, it just goes... It doesn't even explode. One firework went airborne and looked stunning. Another firework, another Roman candle, fell forward on the ship, shot through a hole that had somehow just been burnt, and started peppering the shore where people were standing with fireworks.
At no point did this seem a bad idea,
At
man.
no point. So this is the thing I'm always on about. Nobody called health and safety. Nobody even complained. Everybody just got the fuck out of the way.
To be fair.
And when it eventually set fire, considering it, it wasn't like 1,000 people standing there, small audience gave me the biggest round of applause I think I've ever done, because it stopped being that like, oh, he's fucking up, let's film it and put it on You've Been Framed kind of mentality.
Yeah, because they got a real market for Viking boat-related fuck-ups.
It became, I really hope he does
DVD
this.
edition one.
Oh, okay. In which case, Harry Hill's like,
Yeah.
he doesn't need the money, but at the same time, he's just
Just
like, well,
bonus, yeah.
I'm busy on Thursday. I'm not busy on Thursday anyway, so I
Yeah.
might as well just do it.
It became, I really, really hope he does this. And then actually, once it went up, became a really kind of lovely community spirit of everybody watching this boat go up and the fireworks go off. And then later on, we were sitting around the fire, singing more Torres songs, telling stories. And it just, like, to me, that moment when it went up, and everybody just kind of went, "Oi!" And I've seen pictures on Facebook of people I didn't even know were there, putting up pictures of this burning ship. And I'm like, oh, a lot of people really enjoyed the most the most dangerous thing I think I've ever done. And we've talked about me breaking my ribs, going through tables, landing on pins, things like that.
Throwing explosives.
Yeah, I mean...
The word's designed to be thrown.
Yeah. I can imagine me lighting that firework and it going off in my hand. Like, that's what I was imagining.
You both knew that was a risk.
Yeah. Like, but it was... I'm not trying to sound big and brave, I was just doing it for the enjoyment of the people. It was just something...
I did also
that
fight 13 kids.
Yeah. Yeah, and it just ended up...
I threw them in the boat.
From what could be an absolute ridiculous fact, and we thought it was going to be shit, and we thought nobody was going to turn up, and we thought everybody there was going to turn up, you know, Vikings with fucking horns and shit like that, and just turned out to be a really good evening of... It was an adventure.
What summed it up best to me was, I would also say, walking home that night. I had never felt as safe walking home the night as I had.
We did a 2-mile walk.
armour and carrying an axe.
Yeah, we did a 2-mile walk.
Yeah.
2-mile walk down. It's a cyclopath on the island, but it's called the Canal. It's called the Canal.
There were
Walk.
a lot of psychopaths on the island.
Yeah,
a lot of them dressed as trees or something.
It's a 2-mile pitch black walk with trees either side of you, where at any point, and it has happened.
You still wouldn't do an accent all the way home.
People have been jumped.
Rotherford kept accents up.
He did do it all the fucking way. People have been jumped there. I'm in chainmail with a sword, a knife, and a shield.
We were at a point we kind of wanted to be jumped.
Yeah, I really wanted to get jumped just for that newspaper article the next day. We just when like a mugger with a knife gets decapitated.
Well, that would have gone well with the other newspaper article I saw, which was crazed blind Viking kills 4 with
So that was our weekend.
Goes up wheelchair
I think really
accessible.
the moment we summed it up, so I stayed over at yours, was getting back to his flat.
But he hasn't got a house.
Yeah, I'll get back to his flat then. I sat sitting on his couch. He's just on the couch. He's by the fridge eating some chicken as usual, and we both just look at each other and just burst out laughing at the ridiculousness of the situation we found ourselves in.
I've been on couches eating chicken. It's not that.
It was another adventure, and that seems to be all my life.
It's much more fairy.
Much more fairy.
I tried to say 3 words at once, it did not work.
No, I'm not sure which ones you were going for.
That accent will haunt my dreams.
Speaking of dreams, so I had a weird one the other day.
What is wrong with the accent? I was adding to atmosphere.
So I had this weird dream.
game.
I had a weird dream the other day, and I've been actually having a lot of trouble sleeping because of dreams, and some of them are quite unpleasant, and they sort of kind of plague on me, and then I wake up, and for an hour, I'm, before my proper alarm goes off, I'm laying there just kind of like, why would I think that? Why would I even, consider that stuff? Something that happened to me the other day was just ridiculous in the same way as it always is. Once again, snakes featured.
Nice.
I'm not sure, maybe...
Not my bearded dragon in your face.
No.
You're afraid of all reptiles.
Apparently.
Yeah.
And smoke and
That's a thing now.
Are we talking like proper animal snake or solid snake?
No, proper
snake.
No,
Just,
if
That was a liquid snake.
liquid snake.
if Solid Snake was in my dreams, he wouldn't be in my dreams if he was any good. Do you know what I mean?
I just made myself laugh because I imagined
Just this jelly snake.
a liquid snake, and then my mind just went, jelly deals. Fucking hell, bro.
Crazy, that's not how jokes work.
Like you like Letty.
So, it was a real snake, the reptilian kind.
What sort of snake?
I don't know, actually.
Did it look a lot like George the Dragon?
No.
My dragon's called George, that's a pun.
Okay.
And it's a girl.
Yeah. Does it also not exist, like the story?
No, it converts Christians.
It's not a cleric, fucking Age of Empires. So I went to a house. It was quite a nice house. You know, like in American horror movies where there's sort of they're being chased around a house and you can't help.
Oh.
If you've seen it enough times, the horror just doesn't do anything.
Yeah, and you
start admiring the
That's
decor.
a lovely, lovely settee.
Yeah,
Like,
I really like those beach houses where it's kind of the open plan living room and kitchen.
I'm going to have to see if I can get a lamp like that.
I'd love a place.
I love
like
how the
that.
lift opens and the blood comes gushing out.
That kitchen would be lovely to die in.
Yeah. I'd love that radio if it wasn't for all the static. Silent Hill.
I love the oven if not for the Zuni warrior doll in it. 10 years.
Yeah, that is an obscure one. Well done. So I was in a house, and it was quite, like I said, it was quite a nice kind of modern-looking house. And I was walking around, and I can't remember what the context of the dream was, but I remember learning halfway through that it was a mate from work.
Did somebody ask to borrow some soap and you were looking for it?
No, probably at some point, yeah.
Callbacks.
It turned out to be his house. I don't know where he actually lives or whether his place is anything like this. It's just one of those things. And then he had a snake. And the next thing I remember is just becoming aware of the snake in the dream. It's going, oh, he's got a snake who seems to have shit everywhere. And you know that kind of Pritt stick white shit that you get, like, you know, like birds do it.
Snakes do.
Yeah, I know they do, yeah. But, like, I've seen it, it's weird. They sort of, part of their tail just sort of flaps up.
Yep.
And they just kind of shit everywhere.
Dragons do the same. It's actually urine. With dragons, at least.
That's
They
what I
don't.
do as well.
Is that how you poo? Dragons don't.
The bit comes off your bell end and it's
I
just...
slip my tail up and it goes everywhere.
Depending on, I'm guessing some snakes do it.
There's a couple of problems with that, I'll come back to that later.
If they're desert animals, they don't want to lose any liquid in their body,
Right.
so they secrete the urea without the water. You know? So it comes out as a
That's
solid
kind
white
of
pellet.
more
Yeah.
solid, yeah.
Big yellow
And it doesn't smell, so predators don't come.
Are predators sexually aroused by smells?
No, but they leave a chalky white paste behind.
You think that was their blood on
They're
that?
just fireworks, apparently.
That was me in 2011.
We covered that. As did you, I think. If by that you mean those women.
Actually, Marc in his territory.
With spunk.
So,
That's what you do, isn't it?
I was...
Small sea life centres.
Yeah, I'm not... I am because I showed my balls to a shark once.
Check out my balls, ball shark! No, sir, it's a bull shark.
Well,
Can you leave?
Sir, that's a clownfish.
well, I'm lucky I didn't make jokes or something. I don't know. I'll leave quietly.
And I'll take this joke with me.
No, that's a rock crab.
That's not a B-52 song at all.
Went to the aquarium. Got my balls up to a shark.
So I was...
Fuck's sake, Blake! Let Rob Cockin talk!
Is that a fish as well?
A cockin talk. That sounds like a bird,
I
doesn't it?
love the idea that you went to the aquarium and it's like, it's an interruption shark. And he's just like, no, I want the bus. Juice, stop.
Dun 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 dun.
You might break my mic if it hasn't already.
I might have done that when I killed my own table.
That might have to be cut, so maybe people will never know.
I think I broke my table.
Edit.
So your dream is that a snake shits everywhere.
There's like shit in the bloke's house, and I remember sort of it panned out. You know, like when you're in a dream and you're not seeing it through your own eyes, you're kind of seeing yourself in
You see yourself going.
No, it's,
Well,
Towards the end of the shoulder.
it just sort of it goes to a sort of room corner shot, and there's just like white shit everywhere. It was one of those weird, like that Futurama thing where it's just like, why should I believe you? You're Hitler, and it just suddenly becomes Hitler in the mirror. That kind of instantaneous thing.
Yeah.
Like, he seems to have shit everywhere. Pan up, just covered the floor.
Meanwhile, Dulux are like taking this on. New patent technique.
If you take this down to the shop, we'll make it a colour.
But he only does white.
We already do snake shit as a colour, so we can just do that.
Snake shit white, another shade men and women can argue over. I want eggshell,
Oh, yes.
I want snake shit white.
Why would a snake cause an argument between a man and a woman?
Bible!
Call back and forth, call back.
You talk back to the beginning of time. Yeah.
Call back. Old Testament as someone sees it.
No, it's not real.
Just like, never mind.
So then I was telling these guys, I've got a funny dream story about something that happened to me in a dream, and then Blake told me to remind him about about a dream he had.
Well, it was more not necessarily a dream I had. It was more I have a thing. I don't know if I've mentioned this in the previous episode where I've woken up my other half with saying inane shit in my dreams. One of them was probably the most famous one would be I was sitting there with I literally was in my dream. I was in a pub and I was sitting there, walked in. And they have like the different nights on and stuff like that. I turn out and
The black night, the green night.
70s night, and
and it actually said the actual page on the advert said, "Bring your own pirate night." And I actually looked at it and thought, "This is absolute bollocks." Turned around and said, "Bring your own pirate night." But at which point I woke up saying it aloud. So I turned to Catherine and went, who was my other half? I went,
Just the other girl you were seeing.
yeah. And I just went, "Bring your own pirate night." And I have spoken in other dreams, she gets fed up with it. And her only response was, "No."
Do you know what I like most about the bring your own pirate night? Is it implies there are nights when pirates are supplied.
can I just make a little qualifier? Just then is that when he said different nights, and I went to make a joke about almond nights and just said black night, green night, but I should imagine...
No. It's a little bit political correct. It's African American.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I think somebody spoke over me saying green night there, so without going back, I just want to say I wasn't just going to say black night. Only black people are allowed in this pub.
They only play disco music, people can dance.
I am quite racist, but I'm not that racist.
In Omer's they've got their own pubs they can go to.
I was going to say white night is pretty much everything I see at fucking Rochester Bar. I'm a little bit annoyed about that because I went to Rochester Bar a few weeks ago for a friend's birthday, right? And I've seen it pop up on Facebook because a couple of my friends like it. So there's photos of get tagging your friends, and I look through and it's women everywhere, right? So I was a little bit like, oh well, I can only stay for a couple of hours, but at least I'll be talking to my friend because we haven't seen each other in ages. But at least I'll be able to kind of look around and admire have a bit of a perv. Because there's nothing stopping me.
Because that's what I do now.
Except for that restraining order, so I can go from a distance. And I went there, sausage fest. Everywhere was men.
Hello, would you like some sausage?
To be fair, our sausage festival sounds fun.
I want to go to an actual sausage festival.
Your accent might make more sense.
German sausage fest, have you both asking?
Would you like some sausage, my lord? Lord.
You just know that there's going to be some gay guys trying to go, oh, sorry, we totally read that wrong.
We've already got that name.
But while we're here...
Let me bite your sausage.
I'll take one home for later.
Yeah.
Also food.
Put it in my buns.
So,
Take time to give for the sex change later.
So,
fuck's sake, mate.
So I reckon, that's probably the craziest story I've ever heard about somebody talking in their sleep.
Well, the other night...
Hang on, everyone. Omer's got an anecdote.
So, I'm... You know that bit where you've just fallen asleep? And my girlfriend's awake on the phone reading pokey cat memes. I don't fucking know.
Internet bacon zombie cats.
Yes, the one.
Pokey cat, got to stroke them all.
Fuck's sake, like...
Yeah,
I'm now part of this train.
he fits in well, yeah. So apparently I turned to her and go, do you want to have a threesome? Like, what? Do you want to have a threesome? Yeah, alright. Do you want to have a threesome? No. See? Even you won't have a threesome with you. So apparently she just gives me like a, oh!
That's fair.
Yeah. Then she goes, do you want to have a threesome? To which I reply, no, I'll be filming it. I have literally no idea.
Who's the other... So in the threesome tradition, I mean, there's there's different ways of doing it.
Yeah, there's FF, MM,
there's BGG, there's BBG and all that.
BBC.
The BFG.
BFG.
BFG 1000.
Fizz, pop, fizz, bang, feel my cock go up.
There's no age gaps, that's not what I think of when I hear BFG.
What do you know that's older than the Big Friendly Giant?
No, but I gravitate towards Doom because it's going to be...
Isn't that younger than Roald Dahl?
Yeah, but he's what you grew up with.
How does the age gap between you being older and
I grew up with both.
go the other way?
That's what you grew up with, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Fair
I grew up with both.
An age gap doesn't necessarily imply it's because you're old.
Yeah.
It's because there's a difference. I'm just...
Fizz, pop, fizz, bang,
I am bored of talking
to
him.
Maybe it's less boring with the accent.
Yeah.
There's another one of these talky things where apparently it's a lot shorter. I turned to her and just said, oh no, apparently I kind of half clambered on top of her and just went, I could do whatever I want to you right now. And she was like, ooh. So I just fell back to sleep.
I could use you as a pillow.
No, it wasn't like I fell on sleep.
You smell of night nurse.
It was, roll on, I could do whatever I want to you. Ooh, could you? Roll off. To which she just kind of left her with this, what?
And then shortly afterwards, just the sound of... Anybody else can top that?
My girlfriend's a knack of talking complete shit in her. She's not done it so much recently, maybe she grew out of it, but she talks shit quite a lot. It's like 12, she would go to bed kind of at 10 o'clock. I normally go to bed about half midnight, 1 o'clock. So
7 in the morning by the time you finish texting me.
Yeah, by the time I normally...
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Sleeping, you cunt.
What's that?
What are you doing? I could do whatever I want to. What are you doing? Having a threesome?
Recording a threesome?
What are you doing, your girlfriend?
Why would you ask? You're filming it.
But as I come into the bedroom, I must wake her up ever so slightly.
Yeah.
And she's kind of a bit and the one that's always stuck in my mind, not because it was sexual, not because it was rude, it's just because it was so fucking surreal. was coming into the bedroom, and she kind of looks over me and goes, "What TV show are we watching? Is it Home Improvement?" To which I say, "We're not watching telly, Charlie. We're in bed." And she says, "Oh no!" It was such an air of desperation.
I'm missing Home Improvement.
We're getting on about an hour now, and you probably need to go for a wank.
Yeah, that's a fair point. So, so for Omer Ibrahim,
Would you not?
for Brad Harmer,
Fuck's sake, Blake!
for Blake Harmer,
Fuck me!
for Mark Cummins.
It's got to have more cowbell. Whatever that actually means. I don't know.
I think it's an
What we're
instrument.
currently dealing with doesn't have enough cowbell.
Wait,
You're the drummer.
actually,
Let us
come on,
know.
I didn't hear one cowbell, so that's technically true.
Yeah, fair. I've been
Yay!
I just hit an empty tango can.
That's our makeshift
It didn't make a
cowbell.
noise.
and it not only didn't make a noise, you dented it. I've been your host, Rob Wade. This has been The Crazy Train. A bit of a weird one, but bear with us.
Yeah. There's a bear with us.
Is bear? That was it, following you around, because you were looking for a bear for your Viking miniatures game. He was looking for a bear, literally everything. I still couldn't shift the accent by that point. It's just, I've been doing it for so long, actually stopping
Been in
doing
the
it.
70s?
Well, yeah, it was quite hard. So it sort of felt like toy bears. Like, is bear?
Yeah, but it ended up by the end of the convention, you're just picking up a chicken and going, "Is bear?" Like, no, he's not bear. Picked up a panda bear, and I just kind of had to go, kind of.
I liked that because inadvertently, when you started doing the accent in written form by just putting accents on everything, I made the analogy of it as a Teddy Ruxpin whose batteries were dying, which led nicely into his bear. So, if you've enjoyed the show, share it with your friends, subscribe to us on iTunes, rate, review us, tell your friends. You can find us on Twitter. Omer's at the Iron Turk Omer. Brad's at the Enfields. I'm at Rob Wade Vision. Blake and Mark. And Blake's at work. Mark is at Down Under.
No, I'm sure that's probably a Twitter account, so don't.
It quite possibly is actually.
Don't do that. Don't do that. I want
All the writing's upside down.
I think that King of the Vampire Puffs is currently free if you want to check that out.
Only temporarily until I find a new email address.
I love that you look puzzled by it, you didn't get that reference, and it just seemed like Brad just went, I think at, and then just some words. Because I'm guessing there's a lot of things that aren't taken on Twitter so far.
I might just take fuck's sake Blake.
You can also find us at emotionally14.com, emotionally14 on Twitter, emotionally14 on Facebook. That's it.
Just come and find us.
Cool. Yeah, find us.
I've got a GPS thing in my head.
Please find me, I don't know where I am.
You're at us.
Alright.